John Saraceno, the principals in the ring. You're looking at Juan Laporte. He's got the red trunks on, fighting Billy Costello, the former WBC junior welterweight champion, the 140-pound champ from 1984 to 1986. Costello in blue to the right of your screen. That's Juan Laporte in the red. Laporte again was the heavier puncher when these two guys were in the primes of their career. Let's see how they are fighting as legends now. Kind of feeling each other out in the early going here, John.
Well, the key thing here, Colonel, is to get their legs under them, test their reflexes, see what the other guy has, because at these ages, you're not exactly sure what your opponent's going to have.
Costello, we talked about at the top of the show, had to work hard to get his weight down to make weight. He had to come in at 159 was what they made him weigh at yesterday. He actually weighed the first time at 161, but had to lose 30 pounds to get down there. Standing right in the center of the ring, nothing fancy about what either guy is doing. Both guys made the comment that this is a lot of fun, but I'm serious. I want to win this fight. There's some serious money on the line. Both also said, you know, your mind tells you to do things that sometimes your hands can't do anymore, but they're both at the same place in their careers now, so it doesn't look anything but it certainly isn't a slow motion fight at this stage.
Well, they're more evenly matched in terms of skills and reflexes. Archie Moore once said that he thought he would know when he would start sliding as a fighter. The problem is you wake up one morning and you found out you done slid, and it's too late then.
That's right. Both guys have thrown low blows here in the first round. This is scheduled for 10. This fight, by the way, is sanctioned by the North Carolina Boxing Commission. 10-point must scoring system. 3 judges score the fight. A fighter must get up following a low blow or he may be counted out. And in North Carolina, there is a 3 knockdown rule, and it is in effect here. And the standing 8 count is also in effect here. There's a mandatory 8 count following knockdowns. Again, Billy in their prime wouldn't have the power that he'd have now against Laporte, who he probably outweighs. We talked about him having to get down to that 159, but again, that was without eating probably for a couple of days and just having a little bit of water trying to make weight. And I know, because I saw the tray that was going to his room yesterday at the hotel, that he chowed down last night.
Well, you can see the slow pace in the first round. Both fighters careful not to expend a whole lot of energy during this feeling out process.
You know, when they were talking about starting the Legends 3 and 4 years ago, John, they were talking about perhaps having 2-minute rounds. I think that would have been a better idea myself. You know, you see these guys like coasting towards the tail end of this first round of the fight because they are pacing themselves for 10 rounds. I think it would have been better at this stage, without seeing too much action so far, if they'd had 2-minute rounds so that these guys could have worked a little bit harder and not had to worry about pacing themselves when they're in their 40s.
I agree, Bob.
Now, they're not pacing themselves in the closing seconds now. That's the first round. Billy staggered, though. Laporte nails him with 2 headshots as the bell ends round 1. Billy was clipped and hit, and that's that heavy punch of Juan Laporte.
Wow, what a dramatic end to that first round when really Billy Costello was holding his own for the first, I'd say, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And then Juan Laporte exploding.
That's your leg shot, champ. There you go. Beautiful.
With a combination on the inside, had Billy Costello rocked, unsteady, but not enough time for Laporte to finish the job. And we're going to see the end of that round. See a couple of right hands missed by Laporte. There was the uppercut and the right hand. You saw Costello wobble backward, very unsteady on his feet. The best punch of the round. Here it comes. Bang, right on the chin.
And his legs are definitely wobbled, and that's the age now. Years ago, when they were in the prime of their career and in great physical condition, they'd have gobbled that up. That wouldn't have had that effect. Because don't forget, Laporte again, though, was a very heavy-handed featherweight. And Costello said yesterday, as we get ready to go to round 2, Costello said, you know, I'm really bigger than he is. I don't think that he'll have power. Well, that defeats all that we've seen in the first round already. Laporte has the power to knock this man out. Now, Billy has a tendency to get caught when he loads up his own right hand. It happened to him when he was cruising along, winning a fight against Alexis Aguelo several years ago.
Yes.
When he lost that fight after winning like the first 3 rounds and then get nailed.
I was at that fight, and he was handling Alexis. Alexis making a comeback that night, really had nothing to offer Billy Costello. He got careless along the ropes. They traded right hands. And Costello tried to throw a right hand there that was parried by Laporte. You know, Billy's had a questionable chin throughout his career. Lonnie Smith, who really upset him, and where he lost his title, had him down 5 times, Colonel. Randy Shields had him down 2 before, so Billy's not always had the best chin.
But he has a great heart, because in his fights against Bruce Curry and Ronnie Shields, he fought Saul Manby, against Leroy Haley, and you mentioned the Lonnie Smith fight. He certainly had a lot of trouble in a lot of those fights, was able to get off the canvas in a couple of them to come back and maintain his title. And then, of course, he was TKO'd by Lonnie Smith. Now look at that. Laporte seemed to be very quick on the punch there. The age difference, Laporte is 39, Billy Costello's 43. Can there be that much difference in just 3 or 4 years at this stage of a guy's career?
Well, it all depends what they've been doing in between fights when they're not fighting. If they're living a good, clean life, then it's difficult to say. A couple of 3 years not going to make a lot of difference.
Well, both of these guys are pretty clean living guys. Billy works as a construction foreman, and Laporte, certainly a family man, a real clean living kid throughout his career.
And neither of them really had horrible beatings throughout their careers, so I don't think that couple of 3 years in the age difference really at this point, Colonel, makes much of a difference at all.
Billy almost slapping with that, although he loaded up that right hand. Laporte still had the quickness to just let that cruise past the chin, just get outside there. Neither guy really seems to be huffing and puffing too much. But again, John, you see we're in now to the 3rd minute of this round. And to me, again, it might have been better. And I don't want to harp on this all night, because the people watching at home and around the world can see that. But if they had been 2-minute rounds, give the guys a chance to work faster, work harder, and a chance to rest in between the 2nd minute, and get refreshed quicker.
Well, you can see there the timing for both fighters isn't really there, but it's less there for Billy Costello. He's having a hard time with the timing, and you can see the slowness of his punches, Frank.
Billy looks almost awkward. He got clipped again there. He went to throw the right hand and won counter with a good right hand of his own.
Well, don't forget, Costello has not fought for 2 years. And at this age, that's very difficult to come back from.
Closing seconds now. Yeah, in 1997, Costello actually stopped Marvin Ladson in the 3rd round in a TKO. All right, the bell ends round number 2. Another pretty good Laporte round, I think.